All right, guys, happy Saturday. All right, I want you to imagine this. You love Costa Rica. You want to move to Costa Rica, live in Costa Rica. You want to stay here. You don't want to leave, but you want to do it right. You don't want to leave every 90 days. You don't want to do that perpetual tourism thing, which is extremely stressful for a lot of us when you're crossing the border. You want to do it right. You want to get your residency. You want to get your residency. And like any intelligent person, you do your due diligence. You get on the internet, you find one of the biggest immigration firms in Costa Rica, you're talking to them, they're nice, you might send them a deposit, they're like, okay, you're getting your papers together, and then you move to Costa Rica and you find out that the company, the firm shut down, closed their doors. Did you just lose a couple bucks, or did you lose thousands? Or were you just inconvenienced because they still have your paperwork and you have a hard time getting it? Yes, this video is about the ongoing saga of Outlier Legal and its owner, Rafael Valverde. And we're going to talk a little bit about the Tico Times as well, because they deserve it. I have never wanted a video to go more viral than this video. I want people to Google the name Rafael Valverde, and I want this video or something that says, beware, Rafael Valverde is a con man. That is my hope. All right, guys, I'm Michael Allen for TravelCostaRicaNow.com. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I'd appreciate it. Guys, I don't have a corporation in back of me. There's no one producing this stuff. It's just me. And you know what? Who else is telling you this stuff? Nobody. Nobody's going to have this story. I guarantee it. You know, if you want to see videos as we put them up, hit the notification bell. Also want to tell you, well, you may not be interested in Costa Rica after this story, but if you are, if Costa Rica is on your radar, we do have another relocation retreat coming up in a few months. I love meeting you guys. It's my favorite thing to do. Sitting around the pool, answering your questions, walking the beach. It's a 6-day event. There's nobody trying to sell you anything, no blowing of smoke. It's the good, the bad, the ugly of living here. And by the time it is over, you'll you'll know whether Costa Rica is right for you, or it's honey, we're going to Portugal. But better than that, there is one thing that's I really want you to think about. Even if you know, you've done so much homework on Costa Rica, you literally know everything. Maybe you haven't lived it, but know everything. Just the contacts alone that you will get there. You don't know anything about living in a foreign country, or Costa Rica in particular. You don't want to start things off with the wrong people. And if this video doesn't speak to that, I don't know what does. And I'm talking about anything, building, residency, anything. You want to have the best contacts to start whatever it is you're doing in Costa Rica. And I can assure you, you will get that. All right. Oh, and all that information, all that retreat information is in a link in the description of this video. Guys, this is a big coffee cup video. You might want to put some alcohol in yours. I put butter because I'm on the carnivore diet, so I'll put a little butter with the coffee. Now, if you notice, I'm kind of looking down, because if I go like this, I think it's distracting, but even me, I'm thinking about it, but I'll probably still do this. I know you can see that, right? It's kind of distracting and annoying at the same time, so I'll try not to do that. So I'm kind of hunched over and looking down a little bit. All right, so how did this video come about again? At the last relocation, ironically, I was talking to somebody that had been working for Outlier for a long time. She gave me the skinny, the inside scoop, the in-house knowledge, the behind-the-scenes stuff, and I was like, this stuff needs to get out there more. This needs to get out there more. So I said, I'm going to do at least 1 to 2 videos about this again, so we can keep it in the Google search engines. That's why I want this video to go viral. So now, before I start, now, is everything, I don't know, 100% fact? I don't know. But I'll tell you, the circumstantial evidence, excuse me, is stacking up against my boy Rafael. I can tell you that. So, and as always, Rafael, I will talk to you anytime. If I've said anything that's wrong, I apologize. Come on, we'll talk. You can make things right. You can tell me where I went wrong. Tell me I'm full of shit. I'll be the first one to say, wow, dude, sorry about that. But if you want to get your story out there and try to make things right, I'm always here. Not hard to reach. All right. Don't know the story or do know the story? Outlier Legal, one of the biggest residency immigration firms on the internet. We started out at about the same time, and they grew extremely fast. They got 4 locations, one in Panama, one in Florida, 2 in Costa Rica. The owner is Rafael Valverde, and his wife is also involved. Her name is Dawn Drummer. As the years went by, they branched out. They got big in everything. They got into real estate. They got into small business stuff. They also did documents, like if you're in Costa Rica, but you need your birth certificate, but don't want to go back to Milwaukee to get it, they get it for you. So they were doing a lot of stuff, like that. So their hands were in a lot of pies, a lot of revenue income, and they were successful. They were doing very well, technically, looking at them. So 5 months ago, without warning, they closed their doors, fired everyone but a few people. Remember, 4 locations. This wasn't just 2 people, everybody. Then Rafael had to explain himself, right? So he wrote 3 letters, all in a span of, I think, a month, a couple weeks, in February, basically. One in the beginning, middle, and I think the end, something like that. But 5 months ago, he sent 3 letters. It was a lot of blah, blah, blah it was a lot of, strike that. As he was doing his letters, I was making videos about what he was saying. Now, remember, I knew Rafael Valverde. I didn't play tennis with him every Sunday, but I knew him good enough, met with him enough, exchanged emails enough. I actually quit sending people to his firm because I was getting too much negative stuff, and that was before all of this. So I did know him. In the beginning, the videos, I was like trying to be, give him the benefit of the doubt. By his last little letter to his people or his clients, I knew he was full of shit. It wasn't very hard to see that. He was obviously just biding time. Sorry. So the letters basically stated that he ran out of money. He ran out of money for all kinds of reasons. He's just trying to make things right. He felt very accountable. He needed to make it right for his wife, for himself, for his clients, for his employees, for everybody. He felt really bad. He wasn't going to sleep until he made things right. He wanted to get people's money back to him. Yeah, right. Okay. Well, there's been nothing since. We haven't heard from him since February. So, I mean, obviously that just conjures up bad juju, right? I mean, you can only, what happened? What's going on? So some of the things that were absolutely true, he did lose his notary license for life. Didn't even get a slap on the wrist with the government. Lost his notary license for life. He also was in another problem where he wasn't paying his employees' health insurance. Down in Costa Rica, the businesses put in for the health insurance called the Caja. He wasn't doing that. And when you stop doing that, paying, it becomes a huge problem legal-wise and money-wise and penalty-wise. And I'm sure that money got very substantial over time. That's the stuff he was saying. And subsequently, during all this, his wife offed herself. Yeah, Dawn, she was really nice too. But you know what? There's, let's say, rumors and gossip that she didn't really. And just real quick, supposedly there's no evidence saying that she actually did it, just the stories. Now, I believe she did, personally. I believe that she knew she might be held accountable for this. Things were going to be chasing her around for 10 years. It'd be, a reputation and everything. So I can definitely see how that could happen. And I guess that was the way to, just get rid of it. I don't know, but feel bad about that. She was really nice. But it has all the makings of a freaking Netflix special. That's for sure. So what happened? I mean, so where'd the money go? I mean, obviously there was a lot of money going into Outlier. Trust me. Um, so was it a gambling problem? Did he have a gambling problem? Was he working with? Was he doing some, I don't know, some money laundering, working some with some unsavory people, and it went south? Was he embezzling? Was it just mismanagement? Well, um, we don't know. But all I know is he people lost some of their life savings. Seriously. This wasn't just residency. You got to remember, just one of the residency categories is called rentista. That's where you got to show $60,000. And supposedly, I don't know the technicality of this, but supposedly there's more than a few people that gave him $60,000 in some sort of quasi escrow account for their rentista that he set up, and they lost that money. Now, that's huge. So he's crushing dreams. Money's lost. Dreams are, I don't know, man. Can you imagine the stress on that? You think you're doing everything right and it just all goes south. How, I can't even imagine. I got a lot, but trust me, I got a lot of emails. I know the stories, and a lot of them are heartbreaking. Seriously, heartbreaking. It was their life savings gone. So that sucks. But so now there's 5 months of nothingness, which obviously just is more speculation, and you can only think, like bad juju. Uh, um, he's in Panama, and it would only conjure up bad thoughts of misdeeds, right? I mean, you can't really come up with anything else when his last letter to his clients was in February. Now, there is a lot of lawsuits. There are lawsuits. I know there's some lawsuits from employees, and I'm positive there's lawsuits from some of the clients to get their money back. Now, they don't have any class action suits down here, so that kind of sucks. Now, let's get into the Tico Times. The Tico Times. Don't know what the Tico Times is real quick. The Tico Times used to be an English-speaking newspaper. It was for us gringos, us expats, us immigrants whose Spanish sucked but still wanted to know what was going on in Costa Rica. So it was this paper that came out, I think, every week or bi-monthly or something like that. But as the things do, things change, and it's only on the internet now. I've never been a huge fan because, like, not just the Tico Times, but most of those things are just purely done for advertisement. The stories tend to be a little fluffy, you know, how to make petabaya soup and what's the next big flower bloom in Costa Rica, and things are very general and outliney form. There's no really meat to anything. But Outlier was not just some little mom and pop organization. It was huge. Why isn't there a story about it, Tico Times? You know Rafael Valverde. I know you do. I know you got some sort of, not maybe tie to him. I've seen it. I know there's an article or two that it mentions Outlier at the Tico Times. But this is huge. This could have been a really good story. You could have come from it on a bunch of different ways. If you didn't want to do, you know, a complete investigation, maybe you interview one of the people that got hurt by Outlier's closure. Talk about people that talk to a person that actually lost money. It could be a warning, like I was saying before, about how important it is to maybe find the right people, do your homework, word of mouth, everything you can do to circle yourself with the right people when you're starting anything. There should have been a story about this, Tico Times. There absolutely should have been. I know you know him. I know you know Outlier. They're the biggest on the internet. And you speak to us gringos. How can you not tell that story? Maybe at the end of whatever story, however you want to approach it, you have something that goes, hey, there's a way to get a hold of other people. They're all meeting here or something. You have dropped the ball. Even if you wanted to do it in your fluffy little way, your powder puff way, you could say something. There should have been a story about Outlier Legal, and you know it. And I just wonder why. It's the why really that kind of bothers me. Why wouldn't you do that story? It's like a made-for story. It's like a Netflix special. Besides that, you should be doing a story on it. So if anybody knows anything, any new information on Outlier Legal or the whereabouts of Rafael or what's going on, or you have some inside info, I would love to hear it. If you want to talk to me on Zoom or something, we can do a video. You can tell your story, because I want to put it out there. My sole reason for this video is for Google. That's it. I wanted to do this, so his name keeps coming up. Matter of fact, when I was kind of looking into doing this video, I was looking on the internet, and one of my other videos popped up, which I thought was cool, because then people can see, you know, might want to beware of Rafael Valverde. If you get in contact with, you're going to start a business with him. So I'd be interested in that. Please comment this video. Please comment, thumbs up it. Tell your story on this video. Anything you want to do would be extremely helpful in giving this video legs. Thanks for the time, man. I'm Michael Allen, travelcostaricanow.com. Peace, guys. Things are going to pop up. And if you're thinking about living or traveling anywhere, always do your homework and research for this very reason. And if it's got anything to do with Costa Rica, I don't know, man. Again, nobody's doing this stuff for you. No other video person is doing this. So I'd start with that video or that video and subscribe there. All right, man. Enjoy your Saturday.